Oh, hello there. Welcome to my very messy kitchen where I spent hours trying to perfect the dalgona sugar candy, also known as the Honeycomb, from Netflix's #1 trending Squid Game series. After many failed attempts, I finally figured it out, and in today's video, I will be sharing 5 tips to perfect your honeycomb recipe, including the do's, the don'ts, the successful, and unsuccessful. I bought this with the idea that I could heat the sugar easier. Spoiler alert, I ended up ditching it after trying it and stuck to my small pan. Tip number 1, prepare your station before starting. You will be flying through the steps once you start cooking your sugar, and every second counts. Prepare your surface with some parchment paper. Pour a little vegetable oil in a dish to dip your tools in. You can either use cornstarch or oil. I tried both and prefer using the oil method. Using paper towel, dab off the excess oil. You want your tools to be lightly coated and not dripping. I prepared all of them ahead of time because you won't have time or the extra hand to do this during the process. I am also oiling up the bottom of this glass vase, which I used to flatten the candy, which, another spoiler alert, I ended up ditching this as well. To make one candy cookie requires 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar and 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Have it pre-measured and standing by. Tip number 2, melt your sugar on medium-low heat to prevent burning the sugar. Use a wooden spoon or chopstick to keep your sugar moving. Heat until all the sugar has dissolved and becomes glossy. And then you're going to add and mix in your baking soda. Tip number 3, once you add your baking soda, mix quick but don't overmix. Overmixing will produce too much air, which will result in a thicker cookie. Once it's well combined, pour it onto parchment paper. This is where things can easily take a wrong turn. I tried flattening it with my vase, but I noticed that it would always ruin it. So you'll see that I tried skipping out of this step for some. Which leads me into tip number 4, work fast and pour it while it's still liquidy so that the sugar mixture will flatten and level out on its own. This way we won't need to risk ruining the candy by pressing it down with the flattener. As you can see here, I lose cookie volume because half of it transferred from the bottom of the vase. But on a happier note, I now have 2 honeycomb cookies to share. Now for my next cookie, I did away with the vase and I allowed the sugar to level out on its own. I also added a lollipop stick with the idea of making this a Halloween treat to give out. Speaking of Halloween, I bet we're gonna see a whole lot of Squid Game costumes. What are you guys gonna be?
Oh, dang it. Oh no. It's stuck.
And here you are seeing the reason behind my final tip, which is tip number 5. Make sure your cutters have oil on them before stamping them to prevent it from sticking. However, besides that incident, I kind of liked how this one turned out. Moving along to more experimenting, here is an example of when you wait too long to stamp your shape. For the next one, I was so bothered by the fact that I could not successfully flatten my cookie, so I tried it again, which was clearly a fail. And then something strange happened.
Whoa! That one literally just cracked on its own. Oh boy.
I gave the flattening technique one last try. And well... And that was the final straw, but I didn't give up. I realized that all I needed to do was work a little bit faster so that the consistency would be smooth and leveled on its own. Oh, this one looks good, this one looks good, this one looks good! Oh, that was a close one. Yeah! That one came out good.
I wonder how Mommy's fly trap is doing.
How the hell my heart disappeared? The funny thing was that now I think I worked a little too fast because my heart ended up flattening and I had to stamp it for a second time. But that was it. I made the decision to ditch the flattener and work a little bit quicker. I was able to successfully make 5 honeycomb cookies in a row. Now let's be honest, these aren't the cutest looking. In fact, to me, they're very plain and, well, quite boring. So I wanted to add a little pop of gold luster dust and gold flakes. And that seemed to do the trick for me. I was so happy with the end results, even though my kitchen was a complete mess. Looking at these made it all worthwhile. But now, what am I gonna do with all these honeycomb cookie pops? Oh, kids!
I'm eliminated. Fine. I'm still gonna go. Well, because the stick was there. I would have got it perfectly if I didn't do that.